Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. Good morning. We are back with Junk Journal Round Robin, and we're on day 10 today. So let's take a look at what I've been sent. Let's open Mary Ellen's envelope first. Oop. Okay, got it. Yep. All right. So she sent me some nice yellow pricing sheet and some acetate stickers in fun naturey, feel. And then from Shell, a handprint. Well, that's kind of fun. I mean, the colors all kind of go nicely together. That's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, the colors are great. So I think I'll separate these two bits. Yeah, okay. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to fold that here. And right here at the edge, I'm going to remove the, kind of the like product line at the bottom. And then this back. And that'll go in scraps. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay. So I am filming early in the morning. I have a big day ahead of me. I get to go to my local scrapbook store, which has reopened. I'm so excited. They had a flood and they had to change locations. It was like very sad, but I'm really glad they've recovered and everything's getting back together for them. So I'll be excited to go. They have a grand reopening. I'm going to be very excited to check it out. Okay. Cut around here. And I may continue to change this. I'm just working on my font right now. This reminds me of a project that I did with my kids when they were little, where we did painty hands, and sometimes it was just your 3 fingers, sometimes it was just a couple of fingers, a thumbprint, hands, and then you would like let it all dry and then come back with markers and like turn them into animals, and it was so much fun. It's a very fun activity. Okay, so I think I need a couple more things, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I just grabbed a few things. So I'm going to just set this aside for a moment. And I grabbed one of my bird books here. And I kind of want to find 2 birds that like look good with the yellow, right? I'm hoping we'll get past the ducks here. We don't need no ducks this morning. Okay. Now we're in the seabirds. I think we want to keep going past the seabirds too. Oh, now we're getting relevant here, actually. I think those kingfishers would be cool. 1 kingfisher maybe would be nice. I hate to break them up though, but like, how could I? Well, I mean, I could cut them apart and he could become a separate. You know what? Let's challenge myself actually to just use this. Let's do this. 1. That'll be cool with the yellow. Also, this one would be really nice with the yellow. Let's do it. Why fuss? Oh, so cute. Birds are the best. Okay. So we'll set this aside now, and set this aside as well. Oh, and I had grabbed these little frames thinking if it was a smaller bird, maybe I would frame the head, but that's too little for this big bird. Okay, we need the scissors now. So we'll go ahead and do the needful and cut out the first kingfisher. I'm going to try to keep this a little jaggy. You know, I think what I might do is kind of like get rid of this, then experimentation, you know, it's a good thing. So watch this. You see how I'm cutting these jiggy-jaggy because I want to keep, right, the cool shape of the feathers. I'm not doing it exact, obviously, you can see here. Let's just keep cutting away at it until we get that same, like, jiggity, you know, sharp. Okay, so now we've got this sharp end. That's perfect. And you're probably thinking, like, oh, but there's, like, all that white space in the, ugh. Hold on. I show you something. Okay. So first of all, if it's on a white background, it doesn't matter. But this is going to be on a yellow background, so it does matter because I like to keep things spicy. Okay. So what else am I doing? Okay, so I'm going to my local scrapbook store. Then I'm going to one of my favorite little family restaurants in the same town. And we're going to have lunch. And then this afternoon, exciting event in my family. Well, for my daughter. She's getting her ears pierced. So she's 8 years old and she's decided she would like to get her ears pierced. It's a topic that we've discussed a few times. I am of the belief, I'm always of the belief in informed consent in everything in children's lives. So I never would have pierced my children's ears on my own accord. I believe that's something that they need to understand the full ramifications of, the care and the permanence and the pain involved in getting the procedure done, although it will be quite minimal because we're going to a professional. I am not a supporter of the former, thankfully now closed, Claire's. They were an awful, awful scourge on children's ear piercing with old, antiquated piercing guns. Please don't pierce your kids' ears with piercing guns in weird salons in people's homes. Please don't do that. Because, you know, well, yeah, sometimes it's fine, and yeah, maybe you had your ears pierced that way and everything worked out fine, but it's kind of like saying, well, I didn't wear a seatbelt and I was fine. Because what often happens, unfortunately, is as you go through life, you know, the holes, they're not pierced straight through, like with a needle. They're popped through, it's banged through. So a lot of times they can go crooked, and they also, as your ear changes, the placement of where the earring has been punched through your skull, often isn't the right place, and it can cause later problems, sometimes immediate problems, you know, if it's too close to the cartilage and all that kind of thing. And it's been an unfortunate thing. I had no idea how, like, untrained teenagers and, like, weird, you know, people just decide they can do a procedure that is, in fact, medical on a kid in a mall. It's, like, really creepy to me, but that's my opinion. So anyways, yeah, she's doing that today. We're excited. 8 years old is the cutoff, like that's the age you must be in order to get your ears pierced at this piercing parlor. And they have a really great reputation, and I know the people who own the place, and they specialize in the children's experience in a really nice way. So yeah, I think she's gonna have a nice day. Okay, so now let's get going on. I just glued these together, so I want the back and the front to be the same. A little bit of extra glue there. Now I need my weathered wood ink, and where is my inker? Here's one. This one works. Make sure there's no other weird colors in here. No, it's good. All right, so now these. Okay, we're gonna take weathered wood oxide. You can also use ink, doesn't matter. I'm gonna just go over it here because see, it's gray. Then it's got a little bit of like a black tone to it as well. So I might just grab a little bit of like black archival ink. There we go. And just also add a bit of that just for the shading. Yeah. Okay. So now the white is gone. That was drama free. Okay. So let's get rid of this. Let's work on project 1 here. I need my bigger book. I like working on like a surface like this, like a book page. I don't know why, it just feels like I got a little workplace there, you know? A little spot to do stuff. So this will be the focal point for this one. And my thought was I can either cut this in half and use it as a part of the background collage, or I can actually cut the parts apart and use them as like little swatchy type pieces. And I think I will use them as swatches because the organic shape is quite nice, and I also like the, you know, there's that nice like white outline. Like, look how pretty that looks. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna have a coffee break. All right. Where was I? Here. So let's take. We'll say these two are for this piece. So let's cut these ones out. So I hope that everyone is having a cozy November. I'm filming a little early because I get paranoid about like, what if, you know, this or that happens and I can't, you know, it's one thing to like miss a video, you know, in the week or something on my own time, but like this is a commitment schedule that my friends are involved in and I can't let them down. So yeah, I'm filming ahead. So it's actually, funny enough, November 1st today in real life, but it's November 10th in YouTube life. So it is the day after Halloween for me, and we had a great Halloween. It was really fun, really great. Kids got like an epically huge candy haul. I mean, I think this was the first year my son was truly like invested in getting candy. Like he, you know, last year it was really for him, like he's 5 now, but like last year he, it was really just about talking to people. Like he was so excited to just say trick or treat and like see everybody's costumes and like just talk to people. He's a very social kid. And so this year it was actually kind of like, oh, you know, this is, you know, I'm gonna get candy here. And he definitely was more into like, you know, he picked up his speed. I think he understood that, you know, there's a an investment in getting more candy if you kind of go faster. I think so. He was all in, and he lasted longer this year than he did last year. It was cold outside, so we had coats and everything for them though, because I do not put costume authenticity ahead of warmth, because it was cold last night. But there were so many cool people. So, you know, at this time, it was also game 6 of the World Series, which unfortunately our Jays lost. You know, I'm hoping that they pick it up, you know, tonight, but I'm wishing them all the best luck, because like, it's not hard to be a pro athlete, holy moly, and they have played like I mean, amazing. They always play amazing, to be honest. It's an emotional relationship, I think, with the Blue Jays, because like they often get really far, but then they don't get in the series, or they get like, you know, in the series, but they don't win, or like, you know, something like that, right? But I mean, that should be a testament to just the bench strength that they do have as a team, that they always get, you know, a significant, you know, way along the path. And they're also just easy to love as a team. I think because we grew up with like baseball on all of our national broadcasters, which I wish was still a thing, but unfortunately, you know, in the era of streaming, where we've allowed billionaires to own literally everything that brings us human joy, it's like you've got to have, you know, one of the services. The only like free place to really real time get the game is to listen to it on AM radio on Fan 590. And I find it depressing for the respect that, like, when I was a kid, you know, baseball was a family activity, a tradition, something that, like, you know, in our school days, we would talk about it. And I mean, especially like in the 90s in the World Series time, you know, it's like, it's a community thing, right? Like sports should be, but like, you know, now everything is monetized in ways it does not need to be. And there's all these other stakeholders, like, you know, involved in the process, and I really don't like that. But anyways, I'm on a tangent, which, you know, I get on because I'm a human. So anyways, we were figuring more than likely Halloween is usually wrapped up at, you know, 8 o'clock, because it's getting cold and dark by that time, and people are running out on candy in the more popular neighborhoods. We go to kind of a popular local neighborhood, and we don't stay in my neighborhood. I give candy to my neighbors to give out, because we always want to like see our same friends on Halloween, so that's what we do. So we did that, and it's a popular neighborhood, and like people were so awesome because they just literally made the most of the night. And like one family brought their TV, like a flat screen TV outside, and they had like it on a stand in their driveway playing the game. And like they had one of those tall like heat lamp things, those like, you know, they have like a propane light lamp in them, and like, so, you know, it was so nice. And they had hot cider, and somebody had like one of those industrial popcorn machines, and he was making popcorn, and like, oh, it was just so good. I was like, I absolutely love it here, you know. It was a great feeling. So yeah, it was more than just a Halloween. I think it was a special kind of, I mean, Halloween's always special, but like it was more special, I think. And also there was so much kindness, like, you know, because it was a little chilly. People were like, hey, are you okay? Do you guys need a bottle of water? Or do you, like, you know, do you get a cookie for mom? Or like, you know, something sweet like that. There's just so much kindness. I was really feeling the love last night. It was nice. And just saying, you know, my daughter likes to tell, you know, just generally speaking, if she walks by people, she likes to just say like, happy Halloween, everyone, you know, because she's cute like that. And so it was just a nice vibe altogether. Okay. Yeah, I like this for sure. I feel like I could do the other kingfisher on the other one, but like, I think I'll go with our other bird here. I think is this a vireo? I can't remember. But that might be kind of fun to mix it up with two different birds, right? So, yeah, I really had a fun Halloween. Actually, I'm going to cut that stick off too. And I hope you had a fun Halloween. Did something good. I was like, really, it's funny because I think because of the baseball game, there weren't as many trick-or-treaters. Like, probably a lot of the older kids didn't bother. You know, because there's usually this time of night, right, where it's like the teen zone, like 8:30 to 9 o'clock or something. But there wasn't so many of them, which actually is kind of nice. Like, I'm all for teens going out. I think I always feel like if you're going to go out for Halloween in a costume and, like, you're enjoying Halloween, I'm going to give you candy 100% of the time. But the only issue I find is some of them can get a little bit, like, greedy and aggressive, like especially like when you get like they travel in packs and they run and they like will just bulldoze over the other kids, the littler kids, or they get impatient when the littler kids are trying to climb up stairs in their costumes, you know, because it can be a little hard depending on what your costume is, and especially the kids that have those blown up air costumes. I love those costumes so much. Like, I feel like I just love seeing how kids walk in them, even though it's actually totally a pain in the neck, I think, for them. But like, I love those kids because they are so committed to their costume look, and it's just cool. But we saw a couple of those last night, and it was really funny. Super fun. And then there was one of those, you know how in some places, like I think like Norway, they have a lot of cool like Halloween type, or not Halloween even, but it could be Samhain, could be Halloween, could just be, you know, autumnal and folk, where people get on stilts on their hands and knees, and they wear like black shrouding and kind of like crow masks and things like that, and they, you know, they become these awesome mythical characters. Well, there was a guy last night who was doing that. He was up on stilts, and you know, his costume was so nice. It was really cool, and the kids were so fascinated. And so he came right up to my daughter. He wasn't speaking to anyone. It was part of his whole, you know, his whole Halloween act, right? So he came right up to her, like super close to her face, right? That child was so fearless. She was just like standing there, and he's like this far from her face with his beak, and he bends down, and she goes, "Cool costume." And he actually broke character. He totally laughed. It was really funny. And then like we were walking down the street, and you know, he'd stayed at the top of the street, and we continued on our way, and all I hear is like all this screaming, because like I think he was kind of jump scaring some kids around the corner. Like, he was definitely adding like a truly Halloween-y fright kind of element to things, which, you know, I think is fun. I think some people might get annoyed, but like I think it's like fun and honestly kind of healthy in some ways. Like, fear is not always a bad emotion, especially when it's paired with safety. And I think because like it's in a community of like, you know, kids and families, and, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, spooky fun. It's not like traumatizing or anything. And then, you know, I saw him a couple of times like try to scare like, you know, like a group, and then he would like back up a little and just like say happy Halloween, or like just, you know, something conversational, right? So he wasn't looking to like scare people or anything. It was very innocent, but I thought it was so fun. It's a lot of fun. This is my sad state of glue today for some reason. What kind of glue is this? Precision tip. Okay. I'm just trying to use up some, well, this is just a regular glue stick, but I'm in the purpose of like trying to use up some extra glues that I have, like that I, you know, you sort of try out different glues. My objective has been for about a month now to use up all the extra like glue bottles I have that they're not my chosen glue, like my art glitter glue 3-in-1 and my glue sticks. So I'm trying to just get them out of my life, right? Because it's like a bunch of extra bottles to just be hanging about. That's okay, no worries. That you don't need. I have one of my blonde hairs stuck onto this somehow, and some fiber fluff. Goodness. Okay, let's get rid of Sticky McSticky here. Okay, this here, I gotta fit the beak on. So let's just kind of get that pressed down. Relatively committed to the project. Oh, I'm so sniffly today. I just caught a cold, and you know how, I mean, I'm fine. I feel totally fine now. I was only feeling crummy for the first 3 days maybe, but like, you know, the dregs of a cold, how it like sticks around forever. I'm not loving that part. Where's my, oh, here it is. My goopy glue spreader. You know what? I think I'm gonna not do this right now. I don't want to deal with it. Let's use this glue. I just gotta unclog it, cause see, I'm in the glue, like, we're in the Desperado glue days right now here, because we're trying to use up glues. Sorry guys. There we go. Just use the wet glue to glue these ones down. And I think I like the idea of just tucking this under here. Oh, and then I saw some other costume last night, and I feel like it's probably a pop culture reference that I'm not aware of because I haven't seen whatever show it's associated with or something. I'm guessing. But, like, it was a guy and a girl, and I didn't quite catch the guy, his, like, what he was supposed to be, but I could tell it was cool. I didn't see enough of it because he was kind of going to this one house that we were just getting there and they were just leaving. So it was like a quick flash in the pan passing. And, but when I noticed the girl, so her costume, she had a long red kind of dress on, like a long red robe style dress. And maybe you guys will recognize this as a concept in a show that I haven't seen, like American Horror Story or something like that possibly. But like her head had this, it looked kind of like a shrouded kind of mask, but the front was open. So like her face was there, but then it had 3 other sides to it. And it seemed to like it had like a different face on each side of like kind of like a mannequin head face. It was really neat. I'm like, okay, I need to know what the heck this costume's from. This is really interesting. Totally my vibe because it felt kind of like a mannequin or a doll head, which is I'm obsessed with like mannequins and doll heads. I have a ton of mannequins in my house, and I have so many doll heads. Like I've been a collector of those kind of things for a while. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then there was one guy who had, it was so cute, we rung this doorbell, and it's like one of those audio doorbells, and he had recorded his kids, like, you could hear probably like 3 unique kid voices saying, "Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat," and then he would open the door after it played. It was so fun, because the kids were all laughing, like, I loved it. Alright, actually maybe I'll ink first. We'll do a little inking. A little bit of this, a little bit of this. Not too heavily. Just to kind of grunge it up, holistic, with the white space, all that kind of thing. Go around the edge a bit. Same as the other one. Okay, good. Now we'll do stickers. These are nice. I like these fun stickers. They really kind of bring it all together. My fingers are so covered in glue right now. Holy moly. Yeah, and then I am going to do another food bank donation today too. I gotta stop by and do that. If you, especially if you're in the United States, November 1st represents a sad day where the U.S. administration under, I'm not even going to say his name, he doesn't deserve my recognition, have decided to cut off SNAP and food stamps for, you know, millions of people, and so therefore creating a lot of food insecurity, especially for people in situations where, you know, it could be somebody coming out of a domestic abuse situation who has children, or kids in foster care, or, I mean, everyone matters the same, but I mostly think of people in the most desperate situations, because those are the people who most typically need them. Also people who live very rural, where, you know, maybe they live in a Rust Belt type place like Appalachia or something like that, you know, and they don't have work right now, or maybe they had a house fire, or maybe they had, you know, the breadwinner of their family pass away, or any of those situations. Maybe they have cancer and they can't work and they don't have insurance. Those are all the people who are being impacted by a government shutdown that should never have been allowed to happen in a civilized society. So please give to your food banks, check on your neighbors, you know, just try to help, you know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not American, but I am still going to try to help even here in my community, and I hope you'll do the same. So today we created these fun bird journal cards on yellow ledger, which I think is really fun, and I hope you like this little project. I really love it, and I hope you'll check out my friends Mary Ellen and Shell. I've linked their channels here in the description box. They are my collaborators all month long, and I am super excited to be among such fun companies. So I will talk to you tomorrow with more Junk Journal Round Robin. Have a beautiful autumnal kind of day. I hope the snow is staying away, unless you love snow, and I hope you get lots of it. Talk soon. Bye for now.